Right. So, hi, my name is Anastasia, and I'm going to take an interview with Helen about her career changes and about QA and about IT, all about motivating our new students and people who are willing to change their life and take a new step in their career path. That would be really, really interesting. Hi, Helen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Where are you located?
I'm in New York City.
Oh, that's nice. How is weather there?
It's very nice today.
Oh, that's not nice. Sounds great. Okay, let's talk about how did you start your life changing in career? How did you decide to learn and become a QA engineer?
I started after I used to own a tea shop in East Village, and after I closed the tea shop, um, I did Uber for a while just to make some money. And then after a few years, um, I was thinking of doing something completely different. I had a design degree, but I didn't want to start my design career from the beginning. So I thought to, um, do something more challenging and different and cool. So I started learning to do iOS development on my own. Um, After I took some courses online, mm, my partner at the time was already in tech, and he said you would be good doing QA because of my personality. And I've never heard of what QA is. And when he mentioned it, I looked into it. So then after I, learned about what QA is, I realized like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this. It's a much easier uh like position for me to get my foot door into the tech world. So I just once I learned about it, I just started applying for a QA testing job, and I got one right away. And that's
That's
how yeah, and I've been doing QA since.
That sounds fantastic. How many years have you been started QA in your career?
How many years I've been doing QA? Since 2019, right before the pandemic.
Wow, that's such a good way to change your life and in such a situation. So you got like you were working from home all the time during the COVID.
Yeah, I've entered the tech company right before the pandemic, and because even before the um because I got the job that I got was a contracting job at first, so it was already remote. And when the pandemic happened, everything was remote again. And then after everything slowly going back to office, like mostly it was still remote. So like I had very little office experience like in the tech world, just beginning to have more now last year and this year.
Wow, sounds great.
I've only been working remote, so I only know how to work remotely.
For me, it's excellent. Sounds like such a dream job. So you can definitely travel and do all your tasks no matter where you are located, which is a great benefits for those people who are willing to do that. And but what is your um, most favorites of working in QA and IT world?
Most what?
Most favorites like benefits for you aside
Um,
um, uh, remote.
what I like most about being a QA analyst is that I get to work with many different companies, kind of learning about how apps work. And because I do QA, I can I get the opportunity to go like behind the scenes to see how like a program is run, like a company, any kind of business, just using software. And that's something that I've always been curious about. Yeah, like when I started, um, when I was doing driving as an Uber Lyft driver, I was always like curious, like why does the Uber app work so much better than the Lyft app? I just don't understand. Like why is there so many problems on the Lyft app? Now, as in QA, after being QA for so many years, I'm like, I know why that, it must be, certain scenarios are not being tested and, verified. And that's why, it doesn't run, and probably like a bunch of other things that's related to, how their program run. And yeah, that's what I love most about being a QA is being able to learn technology.
Yeah, that is really great that we have such a amazing opportunity right now for learning such an amazing schools, and we can go learn automation. Coding is getting so much easier these days. But I have more questions. So, what is the level of knowledge in computer or mathematics you've been having when you were entering the QA? When you were starting learning, was it easy for you or was it hard for you? Did you have any basement of starting with this career?
I mean, I just had regular, you know, schooling. I finished elementary school, middle school, high school, college. And the amount of education I had was just, I didn't really do any um, specific professional studying just for QA. I've always been really good understanding math. So, and I like solving puzzles, and so most things that I was learning uh in my iOS development was like pretty easy to understand, but it was still um hard at first to grasp all the different concepts. But I've noticed that even if I didn't understand it, like the more I was exposed to it over the years, your knowledge about how code works it will just gradually you will gradually become more familiarized with the code, and you'll have more understanding just over time without needing to studying it too much. Yeah.
So we just need to practice over and over.
Yeah, practice definitely helps. If I practice more, I probably would have understood it, even understand um the code even sooner. But even without practicing, just being around it and looking at certain things and seeing how it's done, it's just being exposed to it. Sometimes you'll just realize certain things later on because it's like, it's in your subconscious, and one day you're just like, oh, I understand. This makes sense now.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Um, what was your fears before you started the QA?
I didn't have any fears.
You didn't have any fears. Yeah, because you have your friends who were actually tell you about all the benefits and that is very easy, right? So you heard about something.
Yeah. Also, like I just when I looked into what QA is, I'm just like, I know how to do QA is just basically tapping, buttons on an app. Like who can't do that? I just, to me it's like it's the easiest thing.
So you said you're like really quickly got the first job, which is
Yeah.
great success for all the students who are just entering this IT world. And what was your difficulties at the first months of your job when you just started? What was the most like difficult for you?
I didn't have any difficulties.
Do you remember those days? Like how did you start and what did you like about it?
Um I was just super excited that, um I got to use Slack. I'm in the group with, my company, and I have so many Slack channels that I can just talk to random people to, and I can work on a project where I can test things. Yeah, I
Sounds
was just very excited.
It sounds so great. I'm excited for you too. You were just so quick catching this job. So exciting. Um, so and uh, I want to ask about the transformation. How is it now after a while you're feeling your step in IT? Is that was good decision for you to change everything in your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I only wish I did it sooner. Like I didn't wait so long to just do it because mm, I know I'd wanted I after like I closed my business, small business, I know I wanted to do something else cool, but I just didn't know what. And I didn't want to go back to school and study something like for a long time. I just because I already started school late, and most of my uh like schoolmates have already been like a designer for like many years, and I didn't want to play catch up and just become like a junior designer. So I wanted to do something different. And I realized that as a QA or as an engineer, like you can move up like really quickly as soon as long as you like study, and know your work.
A lot of people think that it's very difficult to get into IT field, and it's like you have to be very educated, you have to be very smart, you have to be like perfect in math, you have to have like this all these talents that people are just blocking themselves from the like just the starting new life, the step in the new career path. What would you recommend for them? What would you tell them to motivate them to not being scared and not block themselves from this opportunity, which is like very large right now?
I mean, I would say the same thing that you would say, which is like, don't be scared if this is something that you wanted to do. You have nothing to lose and just try it. I don't know if, they have any personal reason for why they're not doing it. To me, I don't see why there's any reason anyone would, be hesitant to. It would, I would like to know, like, what specifically, if you have an example of someone that that is telling you why exactly they can't get started. Is there a specific reason that they can't get started? Then maybe I can give a better suggestion.
For example, let's talk about me. Like, I'm scared that I'm not having enough knowledge. If I starting the new career path, I don't even know where to start. Like how to choose the right school, maybe how to, because there are so many schools right now, how to apply for the job. Also, this is like very difficult for me to understand. How do I starting these courses and finishing it in like couple months? How do I get my first job without any experience? Like all those questions, like it sounds a lot, but in life, in real life, it is so much easier. So that's why we invited you to, like, as an example, to show the people that it's really, really easy. And it's just, they can, for example, they can study with us, just for John, and just get very easy like this, the new career.
Yeah. I mean, I was already a QA before I met Bojan, um, but I've met some people from the program that didn't have any tech experience who taken, the uh, taken online courses and then went to apply for a job without any experience, and they still got it because um to me QA is easy because as long as you understand how to use an app, you you could do QA. Whether you're good or not good QA depends on how detailed you are. And that can be learned from time, and experience. It's not a hard thing to do. Um like what kind of other job experience have you had?
I was a stylist and I was a journalist. I was like all over, and I had no I'm bad in math, and I had no experience like in any IT, mm, any of that. I was like so much aware of computers, like everything was in my mind was so difficult, so complicated. Like you have to know this, you have to get like a degree, you have to, because you can find a job later. But as long as I see so many students by these years, I see that it is so much easier than we think. We think it's very difficult, but it's really, really easy. By the end of the day, you can learn everything, and it is really, really easy.
Yeah, it's I think it's fairly easy compared to like some other positions, like actually become a developer. You'll have to understand way more about computer science. Uh, um, but let's say you said you were a journalist. Like how did you get into become a journalist? Did somebody um, like show you the ropes of like what you need to do? So like what kind of things did you need to do as a journalist?
Yes.
When you didn't have any experience, like what did they like teach you? Like what did you need to do?
Yes, exactly. So I just got into the one magazine. I got a job there, and I was like basically doing a lot of writing for them, and they teach me basically everything that I know right now. And I believe in any career path, you can do the same. As long as you will get the job, you will just become a pro just by doing that and by trying to get your job best as much as you can.
Yeah, so you don't have any fear then. So you understand, like, you could go from not understanding a career to be given a chance, and then once you get that chance, then you can, you know,
Yes.
succeed in the field.
Mhm. Do, do you know Borjan? And
Yeah, he's great.
yes, like I know Borjan because with him, he's the first person I started to learn coding with.
Mhm.
And the way how he explained it's super easy, super understandable. Would you recommend him?
Will I recommend him? Of course. Yes. If he definitely make things very easy to understand, and like, he gives lessons in very small, like, chunks of bite-sized lessons every day where you absorb it and you're like, okay, I can understand this, and then slowly, like, step by step, you're becoming to understand, like, the entire automation, like, system, how it runs from the beginning to the end. Is really cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think he has a great talent to teach because, like, for me, it was when he invited me the first time to join his group, like it was a couple years ago. I was thinking that he's talking about something unbelievable. And then when I started to learn with him, I was shocked how easy he explains everything. Like on the hands, everything is just so understandable. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No, thank him. Thank you for taking the time out to yeah.
Sounds great. I think I've got all the questions. I think we're pretty much done. We're gonna finish the video. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome, Anastasia. It's really nice chatting with you, and good luck with going into the tech your tech career.
Very much appreciate it a lot. Whole day and the rest of your weekend and the weekend too.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye.